Well, we're now at the final part of my latest Canuxsploitation-A-Thon. So far we've had man-eating brain monsters, virtual reality assassins, and questions about nipples.
What kind of aureolas does she have? Pink, brown, or red?
Red?
Well, believe me when I say, I have saved the most infamous for last, because this is a movie I've wanted to do on this channel for a while. Abraxas, Guardian of the Universe is a 1990 sci-fi action movie from writer-director Damian Lee, who also directed Food of the Gods 2 and Ski School, as well as producing the movie Watchers. In other words, expect him to pop up in a future Canuxsploitation-A-Thon. This was also the first starring role for wrestler, actor, and governor of Minnesota, Jesse Ventura. Although this didn't lead to too many starring roles afterwards for Jesse, because not only does this have the lowest rating on IMDb of any of the movies I've done so far in this Canuxsploitation-A-Thon, you can also find several videos online of people ripping it apart, and it even got the riff tracks treatment back in 2011. For a long time, this movie was only available in crappy VHS transfers, but I managed to snag this limited edition Blu-ray copy. Because if I'm gonna riff an infamously bad Canadian movie, I gotta have that shit in HD. Guardian of the Universe, huh? Well, I guess nobody told him Gamera also had that title. Anyway, time to meet our hero.
Have you ever been vaulted? It involves reinforcement of skeletal and muscle structures by shortwave irradiation and ozone layering to 0.23.
Alright, Jesse, we get it. Navy SEAL training is really hard. Jesse Ventura plays Abraxas, who is a finder, which is some kind of intergalactic cop. Abraxas is after another finder called Secundus, who went rogue and escaped to bumfuck Canada. Gotta admit, nobody'd probably think to look for him there. Just kidding, this is another one of those movies where they pretend it's America. What is Secundus trying to do, anyway?
If he mates, the probability is a co-mater will be born.
What, so the guy just wants to get laid? Let him, what's the big deal? I'm also not really sure what kind of training finders go through, but I do know that neither one of these guys can aim worth shit. Secundus is played by Danish bodybuilder and actor Sven Thorsen, who is in everything from Conan the Barbarian, The Running Man, Hard Target, and Mallrats, although in most of those he played henchmen who didn't talk very much. In this movie, he's the main villain who has lots of dialogue, and if you're wondering how that goes,
Abraxas cannot possibly understand my motives. He believes in right and wrong. The only thing that matters is power.
Imagine if Schwarzenegger was permanently stuck in Terminator mode, and that pretty much sums up his acting here. By the way, speaking of Arnold, according to IMDb, apparently he was offered the lead in this movie but chose to do Terminator 2 instead. I have no idea if that's true, but if it is, yeah, he definitely made the right choice there. But hey, that doesn't mean Secundus can't still act like a Terminator. Okay, now say, get out.
Are you a birthing member of the human race?
Or you could just say that.
I need your body.
Hey, smooth one, bro. I can't imagine why this chick isn't totally into you. Hey, get back here. I need your body for birthing purposes.
I really do need your body.
You know, it's kind of hard to riff this movie when most of the dialogue already sounds like jokes I would make. And don't worry, lady, to Secundus's people, breeding just means a quick hand job. Another quirky thing I gotta mention is the soundtrack.
It's over. Right. I win. The girl will bear my child, and he will be the answer.
Why is there sexy saxophone music playing? Maybe it's to distract from this dialogue.
The key is the birth of a co-mater. A co-mater will be able to compute the anti-life equation.
This sounds like if a European wrestler wrote some bad Dune fan fiction. Okay, so the plot is Secundus impregnated that lady with his glowing finger jizz because he wants her to give birth to a child called a co-mater that will know the secret to the anti-life equation, which will enable him to take over the universe, or something.
Everybody got that?
By the way, anti-life equation, huh? Okay, I guess Secundus is actually dark side. And as long as they're taking ideas from other things. Oh, and about that child, not only was the sex really quick, but she goes through an entire pregnancy in 2 minutes and manages to have the kid without either taking her pants off or having him rip. And that's still not even the weirdest thing about this movie. Okay, I can't get over how bizarre the saxophone music is here. Imagine you're watching The Terminator and instead of that classic Terminator theme, Careless Whisper started playing.
Sonia, we want to help you, but this story, it's so hard to believe.
Yeah, well, try following it. Anyway, the woman is called Sonia, and she ends up getting disowned by her parents and forced to raise the child herself, who she names Tommy. So, I guess this is now a Lifetime movie drama about a single mother? Cut to 5 years later, and Tommy is now 8 for some reason. And I would say, oh no, this movie has a Kenny, but Tommy doesn't talk, so that's a plus.
I love him so much. But I'm afraid that something terrible is going to happen to him.
Well, a terrible movie's gonna happen, that's for sure. Anyway, Secundus has escaped again. These guys really need to invest in better prisons.
The readouts indicate the child is a co-mater. The boy may be capable of unconsciously computing the anti-life equation.
I really wish any of that meant anything to me. So blah blah blah, you're a loose cannon, Abraxas, but we're gonna give you one last shot.
Abraxas, you must locate the co-mater and terminate it.
Hey, I'll make the Terminator comparisons here, pal. Speaking of better movies, check out how he gets back to Earth.
Travel warps are like wormholes connecting different parts of the universe.
Yeah, that's right, this movie just became 2001 A Canuck Odyssey. They still haven't figured out how to stick the landing, though. Yeah, I think Jesse might have got some water up his nose. Due to some more sci-fi mumbo-jumbo, both Secundus and Abraxas aren't able to take any weapons or technology, other than a living computer they wear on their wrist called an answer box. So there's another idea they swiped from Jack Kirby. Anyway, back in the family drama plotline, Sonia goes to see the principal at Tommy's school and... Wait, is that Jim Belushi? He's in this too?
Well, Mrs. Murray, I'm sorry, but this is a normal school for normal children. His presence is causing a problem with the students.
Why do I get the feeling that Jim got a DUI in Canada and instead of picking up garbage on the side of the road, his punishment was to be in this movie? Or, you know, it could be because Jim was married to the actress playing Sonia at the time, but I like my story better.
Have you ever thought of just telling them to stop it?
No. No, I haven't.
Did you like that scene with Jim Belushi? Good, because after this, he's not in the movie again. And once again, just how American is this movie? As American as a baseball team of bald eagles baked into an apple pie. That's how fucking American. Meanwhile, Abraxas and Secundus make their way through the wilderness, and there's no snow all of a sudden, but one thing's the same. Okay, having a smooth jazz score is a really weird choice for a sci-fi action movie. Imagine if other movies did this.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Oops, wrong James Cameron movie. I forgot this is supposed to be ripping off The Terminator.
Vehicle.
Give me the keys.
Your sport utility vehicle. Give it to me. Now, all the other movies I've done for this Canuxsploitation-A-Thon had voice actors from the 90s X-Men cartoon. So, does that mean this one has some too? Well, this guy was the voice of Hairbag. Remember Hairbag? No? Well, he was still in the cartoon, so I'm counting it. Secundus takes the guy's car and Abraxas tries stopping him by hanging onto the roof like an asshole before getting thrown off. But at least the music here's a little more appropriate. See, there you go. Some generic guitar rock is exactly what a generic action movie like this needs. Not that David Sanborn afterbirth they've been playing. And don't worry about Abraxas, he gets a ride. Hey, you know something this movie could really use? 2 bumbling comic relief cops.
How's your girlfriend?
I haven't asked her out yet.
Well, why not, Johnny boy? You're the new kid in town. Probably just holding her breath.
Couldn't they get Mark McKinney and Bruce McCulloch to play these two? I mean, this movie is Canadian. Meanwhile, Secundus goes to a garage so he can recharge his alien Apple Watch, but the guy working there says that's for paying customers only.
What are you doing in my shop? I am recharging my answer box. I whatever the hell that is.
Okay, I gotta bring this up again. What is with the saxophone music? Instead of fighting, it sounds like these two are about to argue over who gets to use a jug of Valvoline like it's KY jelly.
You're quite a big man. Big enough to take you, pal.
And the dialogue ain't helping. Okay, that's not where this scene goes. But Secundus does make this guy pop pretty quick. Was it good for you too? And as long as I'm making tasteless sex jokes.
My box says VD, trust me.
Your what?
See, between this and the unwanted 2-minute pregnancies, this is why guys always gotta wear a glove when having hand sex.
VD, vibrational detection.
It also has AIDS, automatic interdimensional scanning. Why? What did you think that meant? And I already made a Kids in the Hall reference, so might as well do this.
I'm crushing your head! I'm crushing your head! I'm crushing your head!
Oh, wait a second, I gotta stop with the Canadian references. This is totally America.
Hey, you work here or what?
Yeah, there's a face that says, just go home, lady. Or don't, it's up to you. Luckily, Abraxas gets there, although the way he handles this situation is to just let Secundus take the two rent-a-cop's guns and then walk away with the hostage.
Have a nice day.
Don't you mean hasta la vista, baby? Nice work, Abraxas. Not only did Secundus find out where Sonia and Tommy live, but you let him get away again. Now he's one step closer to finding the comida. Speaking of which, looks like Tommy's starting to discover his abilities. For example, he has the power to make early 90s bullies piss their pants. You know, if this kid's parents didn't want him to become a bully, they really shouldn't have given him that haircut.
It's payback time, kid.
Oh yeah, that's right. Fuck with the kid that made you wet yourself with his mind. I'm sure that'll go well. Okay, so instead of a Kenny, Tommy's actually Carrie. Oh, one other thing I should mention. Initially I thought the snow was just because this movie's Canadian, even if it's pretending to be upstate New York. But all the festive decorations means this takes place around Christmas.
Hi, Mr. Belluccini! Merry Christmas!
Nah, screw it. Hashtag Abraxas is a Christmas movie. Well, now that I know this is a Christmas movie, that helps explain things a little better. You know how you have all your relatives over for Christmas, and your two uncles who still do steroids have a little too much to drink, and they get into a pissing contest over who's tougher, and they start doing the Festivus feat of strength right in the middle of your goddamn living room? I think we've all been there at some point.
You think there's good and bad? That's only power.
There's bad. I'm also noticing a pattern to this movie. Secundus gets somewhere important, Abraxas arrives immediately after him, they fight, Abraxas gets his ass kicked, and Secundus leaves. For a Guardian of the Universe, Abraxas doesn't seem very good at his job. The only reason Secundus doesn't kill him here is because he's the villain in a shitty movie.
I could kill you now. What? I will let you live.
At this point, Sonia finally realizes Tommy's deadbeat father's come back, and it ain't to give her child support. Hopefully Abraxas can explain the situation.
I think one of you space guys, or whatever it is you are, could have dropped me a note or something. Do you ever think about what I'm going through? Or how difficult it is making ends meet? Do you have any idea how much a 2-bedroom house costs?
Yeah, sure being a single mom's real difficult and all, but considering the fate of the universe is on the line, you maybe want to tone down the sass there, lady?
We really must leave. We must go. Now.
In other words, come with me if you want to live. Now that they're looking for a safe place to hide out, this will give Abraxas and Sonia some time to get to know each other.
We're going to Maxie's. He grows organic apples, which I buy from him.
Is he a mating partner of yours?
A smooth way of asking if she's got a boyfriend there, Abraxas. You'll be putting your hand on her stomach in no time. And if you thought that was awkward, get a load of what happens after they get there.
Hello. I suppose you're not tired. Do you want to sit up here with me? I'll tell you a story.
Ugh, don't do it, kid.
It's about two men who were partners.
Okay, I know I've been making a lot of gay jokes in this video, but when a movie just tees you up for them like this, sometimes you just gotta go for it. Okay, Tommy, that's enough of that. Time for some age-appropriate awkward flirting.
Are you married?
No. People of my profession are not allowed to marry.
Oh, like priests. Okay, I guess that explains the previous scene. And why is it during the one part where it'd actually be appropriate to play the saxophone music, it's not doing it? Instead, we get some sad piano music. I guess I can see why Sonia's going for Abraxas. She hasn't been with a man since Tommy was born, and even then she still technically didn't get laid. Speaking of which, Secundus stops at a strip club for some reason. Seriously, I don't know what the hell he's doing here. The co-mater's already been born, he doesn't need another bathing person. Best I can figure is he just wants to see some tits. Too bad this movie's rated PG-13 and we don't see any. Your clothes, take them off and give me a private dance in the champagne room. Now. And guess what he does after this? He goes to a diner to get something to eat. Come on, dude, you're supposed to be finding the anti-life equation so you can take over the universe or whatever the plot is. Focus, man.
I'm hungry.
Here's the menu.
Hey, wait a second. I recognize her. That's Helga from Tammy and the T-Rex. Okay, well, that actress liked my Tammy and the T-Rex video. Who knows, maybe she'll like this one too. You're a tall bitch. You want to meet me in the bathroom and practice making a comeda? And as if trying to conquer the universe wasn't bad enough, Secundus also doesn't tip.
What is this?
The bill.
Merry present.
Hashtag Abraxas is a Christmas movie. While this is going on, we have even more awkward seduction happening.
Like taking care of Secundus.
How are you gonna do that?
I've done it before.
Alright, time to see if Jesse really is a sexual tyrannosaurus.
That was physical contact using an area of the human anatomy pressure sensitive, self-moistening, and located close to the perceived source of thoughts and emotion.
Your answer box sounds a little jealous.
Nah, she's just mad she has VD. By the way, the two comic relief cops haven't done anything in a while, and if you still doubt that this movie totally takes place in America...
My DNA is altered.
What are you talking about?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, try this one!
Holy shit, maybe this is America. Apparently regular cops carry Uzis on them. Not that it really matters, since even if he's not a robot, Secundus is still basically a Terminator. And that's not just because of the European accent.
Interesting. So that affects him.
The Uzi 9mm.
Anyway, Secundus' new plan is to take over a local school and threaten to kill the kids unless Abraxas brings him the comeda. So I guess he's just given up on trying to find Tommy himself. And once again, I know I've already made some diddler jokes in this video, but... I'm not a fan of a very Jerry Sandusky Christmas. Oh, and guess what? I'm not done yet.
Your mother told me you have a birthday coming up. I know why you won't speak, Tommy. You're afraid. Sometimes we all have to do things we don't want to.
Why are these jokes so easy? I'm also not really sure about Secundus' plan here. Even if he gets Abraxas to go confront him, that's not a guarantee he's gonna bring Tommy with him. I mean, yeah, he does bring Tommy right to him, but that's just because he's an idiot. It has nothing to do with Secundus' plan being any good.
You were born for this moment. You are my creation.
You are the product of my handcom. You know, I think I just figured out my biggest problem with this movie. The dialogue and sci-fi technobabble tries to convince you that this is a big, epic action flick. You know, powerful, nearly immortal beings locked in a titanic struggle with no less than the fate of the universe at stake. Even the movie's poster calls it an adventure across time and space. But the reality is, the movie is just two middle-aged chunkheads slamming into each other across some tiny Canadian mountain town. This is about as epic as an amateur backyard wrestling match.
I knew what Secundus was going to do. Play cat and mouse with the boy.
Yeah, if by play cat and mouse you mean corner him in a creepy warehouse like the villain in a slasher movie.
There's no more hiding. No more running.
I need the anti-life equation so I can stop the Justice League. Or... whatever my plan is. And once again, I gotta bring up the music in this movie. Okay, so the sleazy saxophone is gone, but now they're playing some kind of quasi-Toto song? The hell is this? Seriously, would it have killed him to play a metal song during this part? I'd even accept some Santana. I mean, this movie's already named after a Santana album. And turns out I was wrong about Tommy. Instead of Carrie, he's actually the fire starter.
You are the co-mater.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. I meant to say he's the co-mater. Thankfully, Abraxas gets there before Secundus can get him, leading to a fight scene scene that's shot like it's a montage. And all the slow-mo just makes it more obvious the punches aren't connecting. And do I even need to bring up the music again? Abraxas finally wins a fight for the first time in the movie. Of course, there's some stupid rule that he can't kill Secundus because he's also a finder, even if he's trying to take over the universe.
Can't kill me. I was a finder.
I don't know, Abraxas has ignored lots of rules so far. Go ahead and kill this fucker. Okay, I don't know this, but it seems like Secundus originally wasn't supposed to die. Then they changed their minds and had to just superimpose this crappy explosion effect over him. This reminds me of the death scenes in The Dark. Oh well, the point is Secundus is gone and Tommy is saved. Abraxas also doesn't seem to be in much trouble even when he decides to stay on Earth.
A travel warp will appear in 2 minutes to transport you to your next assignment.
You cannot leave.
I kissed a girl, and I liked it.
Even the cops don't seem too freaked out by what's happened.
How am I gonna write this up in a report?
I think you should scale it down to acceptable proportions.
Yeah, I think the movie's budget already did that. So now Abraxas is on Earth guarding Tommy, where I'm sure he'll have many further adventures that we won't see since this didn't get any sequels.
I'm really glad you're staying.
Me too.
Oh, and the kid talks at the end. Cool. Look, I've done movies on this channel that are both more poorly made and more boring than this one, so it's far from the worst one I've ever done. However, I can see why this has a reputation as an infamously bad movie. It's got a convoluted sci-fi story that is way too ambitious for its low budget, which it tries to overcompensate for with a bunch of technobabble gobbledygook dialogue. Both the hero and villain seem like robots, even though they're not, and the action sequences are all clumsy and unexciting. That said, if you get some beers and some friends together, you can have fun riffing this one, and watching two guys who frequently worked with Arnold Schwarzenegger make their own low-budget Terminator knockoff. Put it on a double feature with Things. After all, they both have the same rating on IMDb. So there we go, another Canuxsploitation-A-Thon done. Hopefully it doesn't take 4 years for me to get to the next one. Until next time.
When students are not paying attention or pretending they don't hear me, I try to catch them off guard. I go, ah!